We knew this offseason would be a busy one for the Cavaliers as they have a lot of free agents. Kevin Love being one that they were able to re-sign. Iman Shumpert has re-signed, but the Cavs are yet to re-sign LeBron James, J.R. Smith, and Matthew Dellavedova as well. So it looks like Dan Gilbert is going to be paying a lot of money in luxury tax following the end of this season. But it looks as if Dan Gilbert is all in and he's trying to win a title next year because the Cavaliers have now emerged as a likely landing spot for Brooklyn star guard Joe Johnson. And I just want to say this, if they're able to land Joe Johnson, we might as well not even have an Eastern Conference playoffs. Welcome back to the Best Damn Sports Blog. Back again to talk NBA with you guys, specifically the Cavaliers, because we know this has been a busy offseason for them with a surplus of free agents that they have to re-sign. But right now, what I want to talk about is the Cavaliers are now considering a trade that would bring Joe Johnson, yes, Joe Johnson, to Cleveland. Now, this trade will be based around Brendan Haywood's $10.5 million non-guaranteed contract because the Brooklyn Nets are looking to cut salary. And if they were to bring in Brendan Haywood's $10.5 million non-guaranteed contract, they could cut him before August 1st and almost save $25 million in salary and taxes. So the Nets are looking to dump salary, and Brendan Haywood is the perfect piece to bring in that would allow them to cut a Joe Johnson who is going to make $24.9 million next year, which is only second to Kobe Bryant, who is going to make $25 million. Now, I have no problem with Brooklyn trying to get from under this contract. I would not want to pay Joe Johnson $24.9 million either, which is why I think it was dumb for Prokhorov to sign him to that big deal in the first place. But in order for the Cavaliers to make this move, Brendan Haywood for Joe Johnson is not going to be able to get this trade done. They're going to have to include another piece, which is most likely Anderson Varejao. And to me, which lies the problem, because we know he is LeBron's favorite teammate on this Cavaliers team. They go back to LeBron's days in Cleveland, his first 7 years in the league. So they have a tight bond. And LeBron, we know he's running the show in Cleveland. So this decision is most likely in his hand. And I think there should be no question in LeBron's mind if he should make this trade. He's going to have to look past friendship, because if the Cavaliers are able to bring in Joe Johnson, this might put them over the hump. Now, we saw in the NBA Finals, the Cavaliers were just 2 wins away from being crowned champions against a great Golden State team. But as LeBron said, the Cavaliers had just ran out of talent in that series with Kevin Love out and Kyrie Irving as well. If you're able to bring in a Joe Johnson, that's a combo guard that can play the 3 behind LeBron, which would allow LeBron to play less minutes. And it also gives the Cavaliers another scorer out there when they need to rest a LeBron, Kevin Love, or Kyrie Irving, or maybe an injury happens. Joe Johnson could fill that void when it comes to scoring. He also can handle the ball and also is a good player in the post. He's very versatile. And I think he would be a great running mate for LeBron James, especially down the stretch in fourth quarters, because Joe Johnson, albeit he's not the same player that he once was in, say, his Atlanta days, but in Brooklyn, he proved to be clutch, and he hit clutch shot after clutch shot for Brooklyn during their playoff runs. Now, if the Cavaliers can bring in a player of Johnson's caliber in exchange for Anderson Varejao, because we know Haywood did not play a meaningful minute for the Cavaliers, to me, there's no question. You have to do this deal. LeBron, you're going to have to get over the fact that you're great friends with Andy. I think he hasn't played over 50 games in the past 4 seasons. So most likely he's going to be injured anyway. I mean, Andy, he just cannot stay healthy. And the Cavaliers, they only have a 2 to 3 year window where LeBron is going to still be at this level. I say what we saw from LeBron last year, he probably can only duplicate this year where he can carry a team on his back. But LeBron has 2 to 3 great years left in him. So the Cavaliers have to go for it while they can. And Joe Johnson is the type of player that will put you over the hump. He's versatile. He can knock down threes. He can post up. He can handle the ball. And he can give you 14 points. To me, there's no question you let Andy go to do this deal. And what's most important about this deal and why I think the Cavaliers should do it is Joe Johnson also allows the Cavaliers to be able to play small. I mean, we saw what happened in that series. Once Golden State went small, the Cavaliers had no answer for it. And the NBA today is going towards positionless basketball, so you need versatile players in that 6'6" to 6'9" height range that can do multiple things on the court. And Joe Johnson, he fits that mold perfectly. Imagine this lineup versus Golden State when they go Draymond at the center. You got Kevin Love, LeBron James, Joe Johnson at the 3, Iman Shumpert at the 2, and Kyrie Irving at the 1. With Joe Johnson on this team, the possible lineup choices are endless for the Cavaliers. Like I stated earlier, they can use Joe Johnson as a backup to LeBron James, which allows LeBron to play lesser minutes. And they also can play Joe Johnson down the stretch, who has proven to be clutch at the 2 guard instead of Shumpert and JR, who on offense are not reliable. This gives the Cavs a reliable option for LeBron to possibly pass to when it comes to those crunch time 10 seconds on the clock. To have Joe Johnson, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love somewhere around the wing as LeBron drives the lane in the final seconds is everything that LeBron would want and the Cavs would want as well, because it leaves the defense honest. You can't leave a Joe Johnson open. You can't leave Kevin Love open or Kyrie Irving out on the perimeter. Joe Johnson is a perfect fit for the Cavaliers, and if they are able to add him, they're definitely back in the NBA Finals. And I think if they add Joe Johnson, the small ball lineup that they could use of Kevin Love at the center, LeBron at the 4, Joe Johnson at the 3, Shumpert at the 2, and Kyrie at the 1 can directly rival Golden State's small ball lineup with Steph at the 1, Klay at the 2, Iguodala at the 3, Barnes at the 4, and Draymond at 5. I think the Cavaliers 5 with Joe Johnson could in fact beat Golden State's small ball lineup. And in a series, that is going to be vital, because if they run into Golden State, you better believe Golden State is going to run small against Cleveland again. And if they have Joe Johnson, they can directly compete. Now, if the Cavaliers acquire Joe Johnson, I will say this though. The Cavaliers have no room for excuses if they are unable to win the title next year. Even if there's an injury that takes place, the addition of Joe Johnson, to me, X's out any excuses. The Cavs have to win the title next year if they do indeed acquire Joe Johnson.